Hey, Paul,
Yes.
what you want for supper?
Well, it is kind of cold out. I think beef stew would sound really, really good.
Beef stew does sound delicious. And it is cold. We hit some freezing rain, some sleet, some snow. Beef stew would be an excellent way to warm up sitting in this cold, cold January weather. Alright, so Paul wants some beef stew. We're going to make him some beef stew. So there's a few more steps, a few more ingredients. The nice thing is most of the stuff now you can buy it at the grocery store already chopped up for you. If you wanted to spend a little more to buy it, I buy it all and chop it all up myself. So you're going to need like potatoes and carrots. And I'm going to put it in the slow cooker. So meat though, especially beef stew, it actually cooks better in the slow cooker if you kind of brown it first. It seals in all the juices and just makes it, and it brings out the flavor. So if you have a skillet, it's highly recommended that you brown your stew meat first. Otherwise, I guess go ahead and throw it in the cooker. It'll taste a little different, but it'll still be really delicious. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want 1/4 cup of flour, and I added it to a resealable bag. It's just cleaner, it's easier to clean up. I'm going to add about 1/2 to a teaspoonful of salt, and I'm actually adding sea salt, and I'm going to add it directly to my flour, and I'm going to add about the same amount of pepper to it. So I'm not using a spoon, I'm just kind of guessing on the amount. Add that to your bag. Mix it up really good. And then you're going to take your stew meat and dump it right in the bag. Ta-da! Stew meat right in the bag. Close it up. And shake it up. Just like, you know, well, we won't say what it is. We all know. You just want to get it coated with flour. And then I'm going to add some extra virgin olive oil to a hot skillet. I'd say maybe a tablespoon. You don't need much. And you're not going to cook the meat all the way through. You're actually just going to sear it. Just so all the juices and all the flavor just kind of burst from it. And I'm just going to take the stew meat, and I guess you can't really see, I'm shaking the excess flour off a little bit. You don't want a lot of flour, so I'm just shaking it off. There we go. And we're just going to sear it. Really, that's it. It's going to take maybe 2 to 5 minutes, depends on your skillet, to sear it. You don't want to cook it, you just want to get it brown. Can you hear that? Alright, so the meat is brown. Turn you down here. So now what I'm going to do is I've got 1 onion that I have diced up, and I'm going to add this to the meat. I just want to kind of bring out the flavor of the onion. Just add it, let it cook a little bit, and I'm also going to add 2 cloves of minced garlic. So with this, it's 1 teaspoon. And I'm just going to sear it long enough to kind of get the flavor of the garlic and the onion going. I'm not going to overcook it. Makes me just want to eat beef stew right now. And I'm going to scrape the bottom. I really want that stuff on the bottom to go into the slow cooker. Alright. So that's done. That's done. And now all I'm gonna do is get it all out and just put it in a bowl and set it aside while I get my slow cooker pan set up. So I've sprayed my slow cooker pan with some olive oil cooking spray just so it makes the cleanup easier. You don't have to spray it, but it might make, or if you got liners, it would make the cleanup easier if you spray it. So the first thing I'm gonna add is 2 cups of russet potatoes, and I've chopped them up where they're pretty big, some pretty big chunks. So if you're just buying it in the store, I would say 2 to 3 medium-sized russet potatoes. And then I'm gonna add, I have a cup of chopped carrots, which is about 3 carrots, but if you buy them already chopped up in the store, it would be about a cup. And then I also have 3 stalks of celery that I've chopped up, including the leaves. I actually left the leaves on it, which is about another cup, and I'm gonna add those, just like that. Can y'all see? And it's in a layer, okay? And then what I'm gonna add is 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Just add that right in there. And in this, I've got 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. So add that in there. And this, I gotta show you this. Isn't this beautiful? This is a horsehair pottery. We were recently in Albuquerque. We broke down. Actually, over Christmas we were broke down. So we did some shopping and I found this. And it's made by a local artist. It is Hilda Whitehead. She's a Navajo artist. So if she ever sees this, I just want her to know I think it's absolutely beautiful. In here, I have 3/4 of a teaspoon of dried thyme and 1/2 teaspoon of dried rosemary and a bay leaf. So if you're using fresh herbs, all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of break these up a little bit. Don't add them yet, you add those last. Crock pots are actually great for dried herbs. It really makes them bring out the flavor. Now I'm gonna add my beef stew meat with the onion and the garlic in it. And I'm just gonna add it to the top, on top of everything. Those gloves off now. And finally, what I have is, oh, let me turn you back down. All right, can you see? So this is 4 cups of beef broth that I'm just gonna dump right on top of it. And that's it for now. So now you're gonna cook it on high for 5 to 6 hours or low 7 to 8 hours. If you have time, I would recommend doing it on low for 7 to 8 hours. It'll really bring out the flavors of the meat and the juices down inside of there. So I recommend 7 to 8 hours on low. But if you don't have that kind of time, just cook it on high, 5 to 6 hours. So while our stew is in the slow cooker, I thought we could have a cup of tea and talk about the word stew. So I love words. I love how they started one way and they end up another way. So the word stew, now it's a food. Maybe you're angry, or you think life isn't treating you fair. But it used to mean brothel. And if you made it plural and said stews, it was a neighborhood of brothels. I got this information from dictionary.com, and I'll post a link in the the description section. So if y'all wanted to go look up stew, and I think you would be pleasantly surprised some of the earlier meanings of the word stew. And in the meantime, Paul and I, this is his, are going to have a really nice cup of peppermint lemongrass tea. So it's been about almost 8 hours. So I'm gonna get the stew. All right, let's see if we can y'all see that? Oh, look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now, the rest of the last little bit is really easy. You're gonna get some kind of a cup, doesn't matter. Pull you out some broth. Just pull some stuff out. I've got a 1/4 cup of flour, and I'm just gonna dump it right in that. And I'm gonna use this fork, and I'm gonna mix it up. This is gonna thicken it and make it an actual stew. So just mix, 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 mix. And then pour it all back in there. Rubber spatula. All right, mix it. And then the last thing I'm gonna add is gonna be, I've got some frozen peas and frozen corn in here that I've thawed out. So they're all thawed, and I'm just gonna add these to it. And just like that. Doesn't it look good? Now what I'm gonna do is put this back in the cooker, and I'm gonna cook it on high for about 30 to 45 minutes. I just want it to thicken up, and for the peas and the carrots, or I'm sorry, the peas and the corn to get cooked. And then that'll be it. So I will see you guys again in about 30 to 45 minutes. Alright, so the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take, if I can find it, we're gonna get that bay leaf out. Oh, doesn't that just, oh, it smells so good. There's a bay leaf in here somewhere. It'd be just my luck if I don't find it. Oh, there it is. Paul will be the one getting it. So just remove the bay leaf. And then you can serve it up and have it with some biscuits. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Here, I'm gonna dip. I can't even tell y'all how good this is because I'm not going to be able to stop eating it long enough.